Hi, I'm Father Rick Fisher. I'm the pastor here at St. Pius X. I've been here coming up on 6 years now. My hope is that new members coming to the parish will immediately feel at home, will immediately feel a part of the parish. The purpose of the video for you who are new to the parish is to really open a lot of doors for you in a hurry.
You know, as soon as we walked in the door, we felt welcome.
I'm 45 years old, and I've never had any formal religion at all. I've been welcomed with open arms, and it's a really great feeling to become part of a new community.
And that you would feel welcome and invited to participate in all of the activities of the parish.
Because we've been in Oregon, Idaho, California, and Nevada. So we've had a real wide variety of Catholic experiences.
Large city, small town.
It's really an incredible parish.
And we are absolutely loving St. Pius.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. I've always seen ministry as a collaborative project, and as a pastor you have to listen to the people of their parish.
What does it mean to believe in something? When we say that in our creed and we start with "we believe."
I think that's the goal of the Christian, is to seek a deeper understanding.
And there came a point in time when I wanted to start sharing that faith with other people.
I think what was the biggest eye-opener for him is to find so many other Catholic youth that share that faith experience and were willing to step up and say, I'm Catholic and I love it and we're going to have a lot of fun with this.
So at the end of an evening, we've helped maybe 80 or 90 adults and 50 or 60 children too. So about 150 people with those 45 food boxes.
For a family who may not have a Christmas dinner.
A lot of churches don't have St. Vincent de Paul, but they want to help people.
They assist with the poor, and that's their mission, to assist the poor.
The home visits, to me, is probably the most important part of the work that I do. We have a small core group of volunteers that make home visits. We're going into people's homes, seeing their living situations and hearing some pretty sad stories. And you get worked pretty hard, but you get a good feeling when you're done.
Every person that comes to them is a unique person or family. And they listen to them, they interview them, and they help them as best they can.
To evangelize means you have to go outside, of your comfort zone and your community here and help the others out there.
And then I started to study and study and study for hours and hours and hours and months and months and months and years. And it took me a long time to get the guts to go out and talk to people. But then I finally did, when you think you know it all, and you go out and ask someone, and you know what they're going to ask you? Something you don't know.
In the past, I was petrified to stand in front of an audience and teach, and now I enjoy teaching classes and sharing what I've learned, because I feel that when a person knows his or her faith, he or she will be more excited about it and live it to the fullest.
The religious education program is busting at the walls. It's just growing and growing.
It gets pretty busy, actually.
When you watch these children that have prepared all year to receive their sacraments, and that big day comes and you get to watch them receive their sacraments, the joy on their face, the excitement that they just made it to the next step of their faith, and it's such a wonderful experience to be a part of. Our program here is designed for children who are in preschool, ages 3 years, all the way up through high school.
RCIA, which is the Rite of Christian Initiation for adults. So I have teenagers in my class, and the age group may go all the way up to 80 years old.
Whenever there is an adult course offered in the evenings or even on a Sunday morning, there are teenagers, our youth group, available to babysit so that parents with small children don't have to miss out on the classes.
We have a number of volunteers that support the program, and they do this incredible job of sharing their gifts and their talents, and they're here every Sunday.
Some people think that children are the future church, but children are part of the church right now, and they have a lot to offer also. Their enthusiasm and their joy. We are training them to be the leaders of the generations to come. So it would be my greatest joy, of course, to know that in 15 years or whatever, a child that was in my choir is working with children that are in their own choir in their own parish somewhere, and that they continue with those gifts, that they sing at Mass and they do those kinds of things and they participate fully.
In this parish, there are so many things you could get involved in. The sense of community and hospitality.
A very special ministry is our ministry to the homebound. It's a great ministry where people will go out from the Sunday Mass or the daily Mass, and they will go to the homes of those people who cannot attend Mass, and they will bring them communion, and they'll also just bring themselves and visit with them.
Bringing them communion, reading them the readings from that week, and sharing a little bit of Father's homily.
And sometimes they even talk about what I talked about in my homily.
My name is Jerry Sweetman. I'm with the Knights of Columbus. Once a month, we go to two parishes, Sacred Heart and Pius. This month we're at Pius, to make breakfast. And when we make breakfast, the people after they finish church come over and eat. We get out 150 dishes, just to be sure. And it's hard to predict how many people are going to come, but we've had anywhere from 100 to 150 to more than 180 sometimes. And it's a chance just to visit with your neighbor. Not just eat, but it's an opportunity to just sit and chat with the people that you go to church with.
The Catholic Daughters are an organization like the Knights of Columbus.
They do similar activities to raise funds to give back to the parishes.
It's more structured, more organized, more nationally involved than, say, the Men's Club, which is a laid-back group of guys from the parish that help whenever they are needed. They do a lot of the gardening. They form up most of the team that does our snow plowing. So the Men's Club is a very informal, laid-back group of men who are there to help the parish in any way they can.
A lot of opportunities especially for new people when they come here to get involved. You know, all you got to do is raise your hand and somebody's going to grab it and get you involved.
We have a young lady that's volunteering tonight that's in high school, all the way up to a number of retired people.
We have volunteers who nobody knows about.
They're an amazing group of volunteers.
It's just a real neat team of people that work together and contribute with all different kinds of gifts.
We have the Altar Society who are responsible for the sanctuary of the church, the cleaning of the linens, the vestments, actually purchasing of most of those things through their own fundraisers. The Altar Society has a gift shop located right in the church in which they sell religious articles, and all of the proceeds from the sales of that comes right back into the parish. The Golden Girls are sort of the women's version of the Men's Club, that they're a very laid-back group of women that meet on Tuesday mornings. They make a lot of blankets, a lot of clothing for babies that they give to the Hope Center downtown. They're always exchanging patterns and talking about things that I don't understand with regard to needles and thread. But they're very dedicated and committed to supporting children of single moms or children in need, and they do some wonderful things with that. And so they're very unstructured but yet very committed group of women in the parish. They have a lot of fun together too.
We do movie date nights. So once a month, parents can bring their kids to the church, and these wonderful volunteers of ours that dedicate their time on Sunday, one time a month, they come on Friday evening and they volunteer that time again to take care of the kids. So the parents can drop their kids off, know they're safe, having a lot of fun with friends. And here on our end, we show movies and serve popcorn to the kids, and the parents can go out on a date.
You know, there's a lot of people who come to church that we know have the talents and the desire to give.
With that many opportunities for ministry in the parish, it is our hope that everybody in the parish would in some way be involved with a ministry, because that's what makes the parish a parish. It's not a few people doing everything. It's many people doing the many things that bring us together as a parish community.
Well, I'm Deacon Jim Roy. I have been ordained for nearly 30 years. I'm married. I have 8 children. I'm a permanent deacon, which is part of the Sacrament of Holy Orders. I will not go any higher than deacon.
And he said to them, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hands."
I've been involved in just about all the aspects of the parish. My major function is assisting at Mass, and I work with Father Rick on the annulment process, which is a very important aspect of our faith. Many couples come back to the church and have had previous marriages, and we try and help them reconcile themselves so that they can receive all of the sacraments and be fully participating in the church. I've made great friends, and it's really like family. It's not like a job. It's really part of my life, and so it's been very, very rewarding, and it continues to be.
The two major committees in the parish are the Finance Committee and the Parish Council, or the Pastoral Council as it's called. According to church law, the priest, the pastor, must consult with his people, and the word consultation is a very important word. He must consult with them in financial matters and in matters of the parish. And so the Finance Committee really does assist me in determining not just immediate needs, but also they take direction from the Parish Council. The Parish Council is that collaborative body that assists me with the direction that the parish is going to go, what kind of educational programs, what type of ministry programs are needed in the parish, and they are advisory to me, they are consultative to me, and my response to that is that I need to listen to them. I'd be a fool not to listen to the people of this parish in what they see the needs of the parish are. And so the parish becomes the product of a collaboration between the priest as pastor and shepherd of the parish and the people who live there and pay the bills and raise their children in the parish. Because Kingsley Field is just 2 miles away from us, they have weekend drills once a month, and the people are not able to attend Mass. And so what I do is I go out on their drill days, on the Sundays, and I say Mass at 7:30 in the morning right out at the base. And we get, a small crowd of Catholics, most of whom are parishioners here at St. Pius, but some others are from other places because the National Guard wing draws people from all over the West Coast. The peace of the Lord be with you always.
And also with you.
Let us offer each other a sign of Christ's peace.
Peace be with you.
So we do get people that come to that Mass that are from California, from the Medford, Grants Pass area. It's been good for me. As a retired Air Force member, I feel like I have one foot in the door still, and I enjoy it very much. And I think they appreciate it. Blood of Christ. It's probably the best staff I've ever worked with as a priest in my 32 years. It's just like a family. Probably the most visible person in the day-to-day operations of the parish is Julie Cron, our office manager. She's the first person that new parishioners will generally come into contact with other than maybe myself.
Thank you for calling St. Pius X.
Julie is the one who does all the registering of new parishioners. She's our accountant, she's our liaison, a receptionist. Bye-bye. She's the voice on the other end of the phone when people call. She schedules all of the ministries for the Mass on Sunday, the weekend Masses, the readers, the servers. She's responsible for the scheduling of ministers who take Holy Communion to our homebound who can't come to Mass. And Julie, as an office manager, is responsible for many things, the physical operation of the parish, but also many of the diocesan requirements that are just a natural part of the parish life, and especially a newcomer's initial response to the parish. Julie is a person who makes one feel welcome. And then Eddie, our maintenance man, who will not walk by something that's broken without fixing it.
My name is Eddie Toffel. I'm the janitor maintenance person here at St. Pius Catholic Church. And I like working with Father Rick. He's very good to work with, and I basically know what has to be done, and I go do my job, and he don't bother me and I don't bother them, and I really enjoy it. Just enjoy doing everything that I have to do.
Eddie has to take care of everything that has to do with the general appearance, the safety, and the welfare of the whole campus and organization. And our goal is to have the most beautiful campus in Eastern Oregon. That's what we're shooting for. Every good organization has to have a grunt, and I'm the grunt. If they need help doing something, then that's why I'm here. But Eddie's actually in charge of the full maintenance, the full appearance. He's in charge of how well this system looks and works. He does a tremendous job, but his job can be anything from sweeping and mopping floors. He does plumbing, he does welding, he does carpentry work, you name it, and Eddie has to be able to do it. And all I have to be able to do is hand him the tape measure and the skill saw and the drill and stuff like that. That's my job.
Mary Holder is our youth minister and director of religious education, and she helps develop programs that will involve the youth in the life of the parish and in their own ongoing faith development. And she has a team of adults that help her with that program.
Little kids just love looking up to those high school teenagers, and we get to be there one day, and it's just, really makes a difference in seeing them in church. We like to do a community service project at least once a month to take the information that they've learned in the classroom and actually put it to use out in the community.
As director of religious education, she also has responsibilities to the diocese, making sure that our parish is in compliance with the religious education goals of the diocese. Recruiting teachers, of teacher training. She's responsible for making sure that all of our teachers are current in their requirements as far as the protection of children.
The camaraderie between the teachers each month when we have our teachers meeting, our teachers retreats, it is so rewarding to be a part of that. A new ministry that we are offering here at St. Pius is our young adult ministry. Young adults who have graduated high school all the way up through their mid-30s.
We are a group that meets to spread the message and the love of Christ to our neighbors.
They have faith, they have fellowship, they have Bible study.
Between the ages of 18 and 35 can be difficult ages in finding your faith.
It's a place where we can come and ask questions that we are faced with in everyday life.
Odds are someone else in the group's going through the same thing or has already gone through it. So it's a really good way to bounce information off of each other, kind of get to understand your faith better.
This group is able to kind of pull and pile all of that back together and interlace it in a way that we can relate to what goes on in the Mass.
This is something that I look forward to every week. It helps me in my spiritual life, in giving and loving and being, as Jesus told us, to love our neighbors.
They really tend to come back because we're talking about relevant things for them.
I'm Jennifer Snoozy, and I teach natural family planning in the parish and the larger community. I teach a system called the Crichton Model Fertility Care System. The Catholic Church encourages natural family planning because it does not get in the way of God. Couples are called in the Catholic Church to discern the size of their families and then act accordingly. And natural family planning is the way of doing this, and it's the most healthful way of doing it. So we teach couples how to chart the woman's cycle. We find the days of fertility and infertility, and then the couple uses it accordingly. It strengthens marriages and families. It's a very good system to take when a couple is engaged, preparing for marriage. We can also teach single women and adolescent girls, as long as they're in cycles. And in those cases, the system would be used more as a health maintenance system so that the women can partner with their doctors in the care of their gynecologic health. It begins with an introductory session, and this is about 1 hour long. I can teach the session privately or for a group of people in a room. And then from there, from that information, a couple or a single woman would decide to continue with the lessons, and the lessons are taught over 1 year. There are approximately 8 sessions in 1 year, and those are all taught privately. The costs of these classes are covered by the parish, And if you are interested in signing up for an introductory session, just pull me aside after Mass or during coffee hour, or give me a call.
We're very lucky to have in our parish a Benedictine presence in the name of Father Ildefonso Mapara, who is from Tanzania. Hanga Abbey is a Benedictine abbey in Africa, in Tanzania. It was formed from German roots. From what I understand, there's about 150 monks there, which makes it a relatively good-sized abbey. As their mission, they teach the children in the villages around, trade school, grammar school, high school, the arts.
The Abbey back there is doing so much for that whole area out there. They provide schools, they provide a dispensary. And the main thing that you could see is the decrease in waterborne diseases. You know, they still have medical problems over there, but the waterborne issues have been, really reduced.
It's not a question of we don't have water. We have plenty of water, but the water that we have is not clean. Is not safe for drinking, has a lot of bacteria, and you know that this is a region which is in a tropical area, and in tropical area a lot of bacteria, a lot of sicknesses, a lot of diarrhea. Unclean water claims a lot of lives, especially children. Among 10 killing diseases in our country, the first is malaria, and the second is all the complications related to unclean water. That's the second.
When we were out there, we saw the alternative. We saw people going into nasty-looking rivers and stagnant water and dipping their buckets in there, and that was their cooking, their bathing, and their drinking water.
So our challenge is to get clean water, either by getting from these wells which are covered, like with the hand pumps, or getting water through the pipes. The Clean Water Project was pioneered by Father Pirmin Ngole. He's a Benedictine monk. We come from that same community. Before he died, he was able to raise funds to establish the whole project, which includes building filtration tanks, buying pipes from the filtration tank to bigger reservoir tanks, to the smaller tanks in schools and the villages. So that was done, and the 3 villages were hooked in the system. But then he died in 2007. So when I came here, we are working on hooking in more villages to get the clean water. So far I have been able to raise funds to construct an additional reservoir tank and add 1 village a distance of 5 miles. And now I'm working for a 5th village. This will be about 20,000 people, 20 to 22,000 people. And we will move to other villages to get them clean water. Little by little, we'll get somewhere, for sure.
Sacred Heart is over 100 years old, right downtown Klamath Falls, one of the grand old parishes of the diocese, and we're sort of the new kid on the block. As Klamath Falls was growing into the southern part, some of them who lived in this area were asked by the bishop about 1957 to form a second parish, and so we got together under the guidance of the bishop and the first pastor, Monsignor Murphy. The early parish struggled mightily to build a church. The first 2 years they celebrated Mass and had all their gatherings at Peterson School across the street. They raised money and they built the first church in 1959, which actually was intended to be a gymnasium. In fact, painted on the floor under the carpet, which you can't see, there are still basketball markings on the floor. So that served as the church up until 10 years ago when they built the new St. Pius X church, which is the one we use now. That church now is still standing. It serves as our parish hall and main gathering point for most of the parish events that we have. The new church, while it seems very large, was built for the future. We're hoping that as the years go by, it'll be fuller and fuller. The facilities sometimes can be confusing to a person who's new to the parish, mainly because you have two buildings that look like churches, and that in fact is the case, that there's the old church and the new church. The first building on the east end is our rectory. That is really the nerve center, and so the first place that one would come to for information would be the rectory. The offices are open from 8:30 to 4:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And of course, I'm there most of the time. The next building is the old church. That's the center building, the parish hall and classroom buildings. That's where almost all of our parish functions take place outside of Mass. The last building on the right, or to the west, is our new church, the place where we worship and where we also have daily Mass in the day chapel, which is on the side of the main chapel. And my favorite part of the parish plant is to the very far east, the lawn out there that I call the back 40, and a sort of a playground where we can play, where we can have picnics. And parishioners are encouraged and invited to use that property for their own picnics. If they want to bring their children down and play, it's a great place to bring them. The room that we're in right now is called the Blessed Sacrament Chapel. Some people refer to it as the day chapel. And it's in this room where we have daily Mass generally. Tuesday mornings we have a large crowd because of the Golden Girls, and so we have just recently moved our daily Mass to the main church on Tuesday morning. But daily Mass is celebrated in this room. It is a place where people can come throughout the day to spend time alone with the Lord, to be present before the Blessed Sacrament, and to pray or just be in silence. And people come and go throughout the day. This chapel is available from about 6:30 in the morning until sometimes 6:30 at night, whenever I lock up the church. Keep the front doors of the church locked for security, but the side door is always unlocked during the daytime. People can feel free to come in any day and come and spend time in the Blessed Sacrament Chapel or in the main church if they wish. But a lot of people prefer this chapel because it's smaller and more intimate and generally warmer in the wintertime. It's a great place to come to be quiet and to reflect and to be with the Lord.